All right, guys, the Ben Johnson era starts tonight on Monday Night Football. It sucks that we had to wait this long to watch the Bears play, but hey, man, we're finally here. The wait is over. We get to see what Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams are all about in the 2025 season, going up against the Minnesota Vikings and J.J. McCarthy. So, I mean, what an incredible storyline this game in general just has have. Just has so many different storylines considering, you know, J.J. McCarthy was a Bears fan growing up, grew up, I think Downers Grove. I could be completely wrong on that. Or Aurora, I don't know. I know he was a Bears fan growing up. You can look up pictures of him as a child, literally in Bears gear. You had Caleb Williams with that article that came out, that stupid article that basically said that Caleb Williams wanted to be a Minnesota Viking. Obviously, he's a Bear now, so, you know, there's going to be a lot of storylines for this game. Ben Johnson versus Brian Flores' defense. Oh, man. This one's going to be a tough one, guys, and obviously, you guys know I'm a Bears fan, so you know I want the Bears to win, but I'm going to go over my predictions for this game, and normally I like to go over the defensive and offensive rankings for the season, and I could do it off last season because most things are somewhat the same, but I'm not going to do that. I think just because there's been too much change and an offseason, you know, especially with the Bears and even the Vikings a little bit too, you have, you know, players that are out, players that are not healthy. So I'm not going to go off of defensive or offensive rankings just yet. I think I'll wait till probably like week 4 or 5 so we can get a better idea of that. But what we do know for this game, obviously, like I said, Brian Flores on that defense. We'll start off with the Minnesota Vikings defense. So going up against Brian Flores, who obviously wasn't a great head coach, but found new life in Minnesota, being a blitz, and I mean very heavy blitz defense. I think they ran 52% last year, most in the league. So, you know, that's one stat I'll throw in there that I feel probably remains the same this season. And you got Jonathan Grenard and Andrew Van Ginkel on the D-line, both of which had over 10 sacks last season. So, yeah, that offensive line is going to have its work cut out for him. Darnold Wright and Braxton Jones specifically on the edge. And then you obviously, you know, you have your linebackers, you have their safeties, you have the corners. They are out Harrison Smith, I will say that. So not the same Harrison Smith of like 2018, but still a veteran presence there, a guy who's very smart, still plays at a pretty decent level, even though he is 35 or 36 years old. So, you know, that should help us a little bit. But aside from just the players itself, I think really it's just going to come down to the scheme of Brian Flores, because really, I'm going to be honest, you can make it work with just about anybody. That blitzing, when you send 7, 8 guys, it really doesn't matter. As long as they play in the NFL, they can get to the quarterback. And with Caleb Williams, we know he likes to hold on to the ball a little bit, so that could be an issue. Hopefully Ben Johnson knows how to stop that, and our offensive line can hold up better than they did last season. Now going on to the Vikings offense real quick. Kevin O'Connell, we know he's a very good coach in this league, an offensive-minded coach, a guy that revived Sam Darnold's career. Can he do a little bit of the same with J.J. McCarthy? Now, obviously, J.J. McCarthy is not the same situation as Sam Darnold because Darnold has been in the league already, whereas J.J. McCarthy, he's making his very first NFL start. Remember, he was out last year with a meniscus tear, so he is, I guess, essentially a rookie. He's not really a rookie because, let's be honest, he's had the entire, you know, last season and offseason in the NFL to work with players, to practice with players, so it's not completely rookie-like, you know, a guy like Cam Ward or Tyler Shuck or Shador Sanders. So, but it's still his first NFL regular season action. So, with J.J. McCarthy, here's what I'm looking to do, right? With J.J. McCarthy, I don't think you have to worry about him gutting you through the air. He wasn't even really known for that much in college. So, I expect Kevin O'Connell to really be a run-heavy team. And if I'm the Chicago Bears, you need to stop the run. We said this a lot last year, but now we've got a healthy Andrew Billings. Now we added a guy like Grady Jarrett. We added Shamar Turner on the defensive line. You added Deo Odengbo. You don't have Austin Booker, but you still have Montez Sweat. So you have some additions, and you have some healthy guys coming back. You need to stop the main guy, which I honestly am more scared about this guy more than any other player on both offense or defense, Aaron Jones, which I should not be saying in the big 2025, but for some reason, Aaron Jones likes to turn into prime Derrick Henry against the Chicago Bears, whether it's on the Packers, whether it's on the Vikings. No matter what, he always does good against us. And we're going to have a chance to win this game, we need to stop Aaron Jones. We cannot let him, or honestly Jordan Mason, who's a very good running back number 2, we can't let either of them get going. Like I said, McCarthy was not known to be a gunslinger in college. He relied very much heavily on the run with that Jim Harbaugh run-heavy offense. So I expect somewhat the same, at least going into his first game. Now, could he be a gunslinger in this league? Maybe. I just don't expect it pretty much at all in his first game in the league. I think they're going to rely on the run, especially early on, too. The Bears need to go ahead and stop that. Do not let O'Connell, don't let J.J. McCarthy get in rhythm. And then on top of that, of course, they are out Jordan Addison with a suspension. And they still have Justin Jefferson, but he is not 100% healthy. I will say, though, even with Justin Jefferson, even if he's 50% healthy, he's still a top 10 receiver. So either way, a guy you need to watch out for. I'm not too worried that he'll go off against us because honestly, we've done a pretty good job of holding him down for the most part throughout his career. He's not a guy that will put 200 up on our heads, knock on wood, but a guy that you still obviously have to account for because he is arguably the best receiver in the league. And then also TJ Hawkinson, which I feel is going to be used a lot in this game just because JJ McCarthy is probably going to use a lot of dump offs. So expect a lot of dump offs to the tight end, to the running backs, and then maybe just pepper some targets on some short out routes or short slants to Justin Jefferson. But I think if you're going to want to take away one thing from this Viking offense, it's definitely the run game. Make J.J. McCarthy pass the ball. Make him do something that he has not had to do in an actual football game at all, pretty much at all, which is be a quarterback. Literally be the main guy. Don't let him rely on the run game. Let him make his throws with his arms. Listen, if J.J. McCarthy beats us by throwing 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, hats off to you, my boy. Hats off. I was wrong. You're a great quarterback. Whatever. But if Aaron Jones rushes for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Jordan Mason rushes for 60 yards and a touchdown, I am going to lose it. Dennis Allen, please do not make the same mistakes that Matt Eberflus made last year. You are our new shiny DC. You have been proven to be a good DC. Show us why. Show us that you can do it with the Chicago Bears with an improved roster, which definitely is a better roster than what he had on the Saints, and still had pretty solid numbers as a DC. So it's going to be tough, guys. As you can tell, I'm a little worried about this game, and I know a lot of people in Chicago are too. So going on to the Bears offense, obviously you have a ton of new additions on the offensive line. You got Joe Thuney, you got Drew Dalman, you got Jonah Jackson. Braxton Jones and Darnold Wright are still there. And then you add Luther Burden, Olamide Zaccheaus, who I believe is going to be the one starting in the slot. And then you have Kyle Monangai at running back number 2, which, by the way, we are short as hell on running back. So hopefully these guys stay healthy because if either guy goes down, we are extremely thin. I really wish we would have added another running back in the offseason. This is exactly what I was afraid of. So hopefully we stay healthy and Roschon Johnson, who is out for this game, comes back. So the Bears, obviously going against a Brian Flores blitz-heavy defense. Excuse me. You're going to want to make sure that Caleb isn't getting sacked 7 times a game, but utilize the short passes. I think one thing that kind of lacked from Caleb Williams last year is not taking what the defense gives him. So even if you're passing to DeAndre Swift all the time, that's fine. I don't mind short passes and short dump-offs if they're getting 7-8 yards every single time, if they're going for 10-plus yards every single time. If that's what it's going to take for you to get down the field and get some touchdowns, so be it. Take what the defense gets you. You don't always have to score a touchdown on every single pass. And I think that was what Caleb Williams' problem was last year. Now, he did have a good game against them last year, but, obviously Brian Flores, with 2 games of tape on Caleb Williams, he probably sees a little bit of his weaknesses, which he will try to exploit. So, Ben Johnson, I'm going to trust that he knows what he's doing. He is obviously our shiny new head coach, our shiny new play caller, which, by the way, not to kind of go off on a tangent here, the Lions look terrible without Ben Johnson. So I'm really hoping that if that's the case, that Ben Johnson truly was the star of the show and he's bringing that to Chicago, which I do expect. Not sure if I expected a whole lot in week 1 just because it is a new system with a bunch of new players. We're going to have to wait for everything to mesh together. So going on to the Bears defense, obviously you got your new toys in Grady Jarrett. Like I mentioned earlier, you've got Shamar Turner, you got Deo Dangbo, you've got Deshaun Wright at corner, which, by the way, Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon are unfortunately not 100% healthy, but they are going to play. So that is a little helpful there. TJ Edwards is out, which, damn it, that hurts. I mean, obviously, you don't want anybody to be hurt, but I really wish that was Tremaine Edmonds instead, just because, man, TJ Edwards is by far our best linebacker. So we're going to have to really, really rely on Tremaine Edmonds and also fourth-round rookie Ruben Hippolyte, who has shown up in camp and in preseason, so I am excited to see what he's got. He's a very fast and physical linebacker, so we'll see how Dennis Allen uses him. But regardless, man, Dennis Allen, I don't care that we don't have our starting linebacker, or that we're down Austin Booker, or that we don't have healthy corners. Honestly, we should be able to beat this team with all the pieces that we have. We are not devoid of talent. We have talent on both sides of the ball. This should be, I guess, a win. It should be a win, but we have to see with the Bears, man. So that brings me to my final prediction, and I'm kind of going back and forth on this a lot. And you guys saw in my season prediction video, my last video that I made, I had the Bears losing this game. I didn't say a score prediction, and after a lot of thinking, after a lot of going back and forth, I think we're going to have to start the season on a positive note. I know I have been saying that the Bears are going to lose. You got to be positive with Ben Johnson. I have blind faith in the man. Give me the Bears winning this game, 24-21. It's going to come down to a field goal. Cairo Santos is going to drill it for us. It's not going to be pretty, but it's going to be good enough. And without them having Harrison Smith, without having a fully healthy Justin Jefferson, and with the guys on the D-line that can stop Aaron Jones, and if we do manage to stop Aaron Jones, I am not confident at all that J.J. McCarthy will beat our Chicago Bears defense along with Dennis Allen. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think the Bears will win? Now, I really hope that I am right on this, because I could also see a world where we do lose this game because Kevin O'Connell is such a good coach. But I just want to start off positive. Literally, before I recorded this video, I was sure I was going to say that the Vikings were going to win this game. But, man, we got to be positive to start off the season, man. Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, Dennis Allen. You got Antoine Randall, you've got JT Barrett, you got all these great coaches, Dan Rushar on the offensive line. Man, we've got a star-studded coaching staff, a really good offensive line, and what should be a really good quarterback. This should be a win. No excuses, Ben Johnson. I know I don't expect him to put up 35 points or 40 points or make it look like Sunday night's game yesterday night, which if you guys watched that game, man, that was an amazing game. But I don't expect anything like that. I just want us to look competent. And I want us to get a win, not off our defense. I don't want anything like we had last year where the offense was completely terrible and our defense had to bail us out with 2 defensive touchdowns. I do not want that to happen. I want us to score 24 offensive points. I don't care how it is, just do it. All right? So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think the Bears are going to win, or is this an L for Chicago? Obviously, I'm posting this like 2 hours before game time, so we'll see how this turns out. Bear down, I'm out.